All right. It's simple as this, people. It's time for people to stop defining themselves by dysfunctions. It's time for people to stop defining themselves, defining their lives by dysfunctions. It's too many people, man, who are running around here who are letting dysfunctions, which I'm not saying that are easily beaten or easily could be beaten, but they are letting them define their life. They are letting them define their lives. It's like, me personally, I have a problem with the word coping. Coping, just getting along with it, just doing whatever it do to get by. Because what happens is, for years and years and years, I hear people saying, oh, I cope. When do you ever try to destroy? When do you ever try to conquer? When do you ever try to eradicate the problem? You just cope with it. And the thing of it is, a lot of the times you people go see these counselors and these therapists and they just tell you to cope with it, do what you got to do. And they steer you down the wrong road, because guess what? When you conquer, when you defeat your issue, a lot of the times that ain't no money for them. So they tell you how to cope and how to hang on and stay strong and stuff like that, so you can see me the next session. This how a lot of these people make their money. And like, let's not act like, this is not a money game. Let's not act like it. And I'm not telling people, I'm not saying this to be bad or nothing like that. And I'm not a person who has a lot of very, very addictive things in my life that is hard for me to get over. Like a lot of the things, I've always been a person that can just snap out of it just like that, So maybe I may be talking from a biased point or whatever, but it's time for y'all to stop letting these dysfunctions define your life. It's time for y'all to stop coping with stuff. It's time for y'all to start defeating things. It's time for y'all to start destroying things. It's time for y'all to start getting this stuff from out of your life. This stuff is ruling and ruining your life. It's ruling your life and it's ruining it at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And I get it, man, because a lot of y'all grew up with these dysfunctions that was placed on y'all. Something happened bad in your past and nobody put up a good fight to help you get rid of that. They did what it did to help you cope with the situation, because putting up a good fight to destroy whatever issue is killing you will cause a demand from them that their life will not be the same. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of these people let things happen to you and they let it dwell in your life too long. And now it's hard for you to get rid of it. I don't know all the medical terms and the terminology for all this stuff that I'm saying. I'm not up here like trying to sound super profound. I just know what I see on a daily basis out of people. We let these dysfunctions get in our lives, and these things that were passed down to us, these bad habits that we learned, these repeat realities that we came up with, and we thinking this is just what it is, and it's not. It's not. Nobody's supposed to be depressed. Nobody's supposed to have anxiety. Nobody's supposed to be always living under the threat of fear. Nobody, like, this is not supposed to be happening to people. And the truth of it is, a lot of these things that we live with day to day, we are very, very conscious. We are very, very conscious of what we got going on. And we are very, very conscious of not only what it does to us, like what it do to us. We're conscious of that. We are conscious of when we make these decisions. We are making it. See, because the thing of it is that the decision is the easy thing. We got to start doing more thinking of the consequences first. You see the opportunity present itself, forego making a decision, jump right into thinking about the ramifications and the consequences that come with it. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people see the opportunity that presents itself, make the decision. Oh, I just live with the consequences, and they can't handle they can't handle the consequences, and the consequences eat them alive. And all it does is add another rung to that downward spiral that they already dealing with. You know? And I be seeing it like happening with a lot of kids, man, like that turn to adults now. And they have these unhealthy relationships with their parents. They have these unhealthy relationships with their parents. And 10, 15 years go by, and there's things that they want to get off their chest to their parent. But they be afraid to get that off their chest because, you know, parents have a way of shutting things down by saying you're being disrespectful when they don't want to face the music. And you as a kid looking at your parent like, how am I being disrespectful for asking you for answers? I finally want you to face the music. I want to finally see what the songs sound like. I want to see what the songs sound like right now. I've been thinking about how this song was going to sound for 10, 15 years. I want you to face the music. It's time to let the music play. Some of y'all just going to have to confront that. You're going to have to confront your parents. You're going to have to confront who raised you. You're going to have to confront who abandoned you. And just ask them straight up, why wasn't the fight there? Why wasn't the fight there? Why you didn't do a little extra? Why? Why was the thought of me not enough to stop you from conquering your downward spiral? Why wasn't the thought of me enough to just come around that one more time? Like, why? You got to confront that. Because that's a dysfunction. Feeling abandoned isn't a dysfunction. It's a dysfunction. You know, some people feel abandoned and they think that's all they're worth. All they're worth is just a little time and to be abandoned after that. And they feel good about it because they can forever in their mind say, see, I knew I was right. I knew this was going to happen. You know? Sorry about that. But these dysfunctions, man, we got to stop letting them define our lives. Like, I can't really get into every dysfunction because there's a lot of them. And we are conscious of what's going on in our life, people. And it's easier said than done. But it's time for us to stop coping. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us to start winning. It's time for us to start winning. It's time for us to start destroying. It's time for us to start conquering these bad habits. And the crazy thing about it is we know what we decide to cope with and things are not right. We know. If you're looking at yourself and you're thinking anything less of yourself than being someone that's great and purposeful, that's a dysfunction. You know how many people are walking around here? Oh man, I'm just the average regular person. You know, I'm just me. You know what I'm saying? No. You're convincing yourself to think that you're less than great and exceptional. That's a dysfunction, man. And you open up the door to one dysfunction, you're going to open up the door to many dysfunctions. And before you know it, you will be in such of a dark hole that you won't see anything good or great about your life, anything of purpose. You would think you were just absolutely worthless. and you're supposed to be going through life, working Monday through Friday, sometimes Monday through Sunday, your 8 to 14 hours a day or whatever, and that'll be your life. 20 years, 30 years pass by, and you have a family. And your family see you defeated. And they don't have an accurate, powerful, constant demonstration of how to fight. Feeling worthless, feeling that you amount to nothing, feeling inadequate. Trust me, that gonna fall on your kids. That gonna fall on your kids. 9 times out of 10, when you become connected to a person, either she gonna become like you or you gonna become like her. It's very seldomly that you become connected to a person and somebody, the influence doesn't bleed into the person that they with. Very seldomly, or your relationship is gonna end very quickly because you got somebody who's wise enough to, hey man, before this thing self-destruct, I gotta get up out of it, man. I handle everything else later, you know. But all I'm saying is, people, we have these dysfunctions, man, and it's time for us to start defeating these dysfunctions. It's time for us to stop uh building comfort zones around things that are dysfunctional. You know, it's time to stop allowing these temporary pleasures to allow us to put us back in this black hole of dealing with these bad coping habits and coping mechanisms. And we gotta stop letting that stuff define our lives, man. Us as people, man, we're great. Like I don't get it. Like I tell people all the time, stop sleeping on yourself. You were born to be great. And the thing about being great is, I'm not saying that everybody's going to be millionaires and billionaires, because I mean, in society, man, you gotta have your CEOs and you gotta have your people that work the ground floor. Like you gotta have that. You gotta have people that's working ground zero. So everybody's not going to be a person who generates millions and millions of dollars or billions and billions of dollars. And no, but the thing about it is, a good person up top will notice a good person down at the bottom and will show favor to those people where they at. You know, it happens. I've seen it before. And no matter where we at in life, man, you got to know that you're worth something. You're worth more. Like you're worth more than you can ever imagine in your mind right now. You're worth way more than that. And we got to stop letting these dysfunctions govern our life. These things put us in bad decisions. And when these things put us in bad decisions and bad encounters around bad people, and then you have people who are manipulative, who will use what we say it all the time. They will use the ammunition you give them against you, and will have you out here, feeling lost, as if they your source. The mind is a terrible thing to let the wrong person inside of. When you let the wrong person inside of a mind that isn't sturdy, that isn't stiff, that's a dangerous game that very few recover from. So, whatever dysfunction you dealing with in life, research it. Think of ways to defeat that. Stop thinking of ways to cope with it. Think of ways to defeat that. There's nothing over your life that isn't. Everything is meant to be defeated. Everything. Everything can be defeated. Every down day can be defeated with good days. Every bad emotion can be defeated. It can. Every bad thought, every bad feeling can be defeated. Don't get it wrong. Some people do, you know, feel bad. Some people wanna do that. Like I get it. You know what I'm saying? And don't dwell on it though. You know? Don't dwell on this bad stuff. You know what I'm saying? I try to, as soon as I feel a certain way and I feel that it's not of thoughts that are going to help me prevail throughout the day, I try to hurry up and get it out of my mind because I know how dangerous it is if I let those bad thoughts, those bad emotions connect to other bad thoughts and bad emotions that I have yet to face and I have yet to confront. Boom. It's like a bomb going off. And you pray that you don't cross the person connected to those thoughts. So I don't know. I'm just a dude talking. I'm just trying to help people. Just get in a little better space mentally. Like I said, I don't know all the medical terminologies for things. I don't be reading from the DSM and try to sound all super educated about you know disorders and stuff. Man, look, hey, look, you know what you're dealing with in life. I'm just an encourager. That's what I am. That's what I do great. I encourage the hell out of folks. So do what you got to do. Find out what you're going through. Find out what you're dealing with, and find out how to defeat it. Find out how to conquer it. Not cope with it. Conquer it. Find out how to beat it. Find out how to remove it from your life. Because just because you're dealing with depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, loneliness all the time, that stuff is not supposed to be in your life for the rest of your life. Just imagine being 21, 22, 23, 30 years old, and you get to live to be 100, but you've been thinking about depressive thoughts all the way till you was 100 years old? You telling me that's normal? That's not normal. That stuff is meant to be defeated. But it's up to you and how long you're going to allow this stuff to govern your life and how long you're going to allow these things to dwell in your life. You got to find out how to beat these things. You got to find out how to conquer and destroy these things. That stuff is not meant to rule your days. It's not meant to rule your days for the remainder of your life. That stuff is not meant for that. Like I said, I get it. It's easier said than done. But do what you got to do to ensure yourself to have the capability and the capacity for new beginnings, for better beginnings, for better understandings. Detox your mind. Detox your mind. The mind is meant to be detoxed. The mind is not meant to endure and just hang on to until you die. No, the mind is meant to detox. You're never going to forget, but you can detox your mind and it will help you feel a million times better. Figure out what you need to do. Figure out what you're dealing with and figure out how to beat it. Not how to cope with it, how to beat it. Simple as that.